morning, everyone. If your child is brought with a recurrent cough and breathlessness, you need to decide whether the child will be benefited by starting an inhaled corticosteroids. If asthma qualifiers are present, put the child on inhaled corticosteroids. But if red flags are present, you need to think twice. I am Dr. Sharad Balaji. In this video, going to discuss about when to start and when not to start inhaled corticosteroids in our OP practice. Welcome to my channel. I'll start inhaled corticosteroids if asthma qualifiers are present. What are all those asthma qualifiers? Point 1. Nocturnal dry cough that disturbs the sleep between 12 am to 4 am. No other etiology can produce cough particularly during this period. Only a child with asthma tendency will be coughing during this time. 2. Emotion-induced cough. Whenever my child laughs, whenever my child cries, it lands up in bouts of cough. I'll consider this as a qualifier for asthma. 3. Exercise-induced cough. When my child runs, when my child climbs, he gets cough and breathlessness. It is asthma unless otherwise proved. 4. Response to bronchodilator. These bouts of breathlessness, these bouts of cough, responding to bronchodilator. It can be a oral bronchodilator, nebulized bronchodilator, an intramuscular or an intravenous, whatever it might be. Response to bronchodilator if present, I will consider asthma as the diagnosis. Next, season. The child is good or doing well during the summer period from Jan to June or July, but during season time. What do you mean by that season time? From Vinayagar Chaturthi to Valentine Day, if my child is coughing like anything with so much of sleep disturbance at night, I will consider inhaled corticosteroids. Last but not least, people will be asking questions regarding food triggers. Remember, food as a trigger contributes only to less than 10% of asthma cases. Thank you. I'll not start inhaled corticosteroids, or I'll think twice if some red flags are present in a child with a recurrent cough and breathlessness. 1. Wet cough. When wet cough is present, it can be either due to protracted bacterial bronchitis or underlying mucociliary disorders such as primary ciliary dyskinesia or cystic fibrosis. Remember, cough in asthma is always dry cough. Second, failure to thrive. Your height and weight will be normal and appropriate for age group in a child with asthma because it is a disease of inflammation and not infection. When your weight is compromised, height is compromised, think about underlying mucociliary disorders. Clubbing. Again, clubbing is against the diagnosis of asthma. If clubbing is present, either it can be an underlying interstitial disease or an underlying bronchitis. Next, worsening with the bronchodilator. The child's cough and breathlessness, if worsens with the bronchodilator, particularly in a young infant, you need to consider tracheobronchomalacia rather than asthma. Next, breathlessness without cough. I will never ever start inhaled corticosteroids if cough is not the predominant complaint. If cough is associated with breathlessness, I will start inhaled corticosteroids. But the predominant complaint is breathlessness and not cough means I will think twice because asthma is a disease of chronic bronchitis. Bronchitis means it involves the area where cough receptors are abundant. So, if breathlessness is associated with a recurrent cough, trigger-induced cough, as mentioned previously, I will put the child on inhaled corticosteroids. If breathlessness is the predominant complaint and not cough means I will not start. And finally, early onset. Remember, recurrent wheezing between 0 to 2 years is usually post-infectious bronchiolitis, usually there will not be any response to bronchodilator, but you can try. Or it can be due to an underlying airway malicious. Between 2 to 6 years, a preschool user, they may benefit from starting inhaled corticosteroids. After 6 years, a recurrent user without any of these red flags you can consider. I repeat, even when any of these red flags are present, I will not start inhaled corticosteroids. Thank you. Thanks for listening.